All right, today we're diving into one of the most influential books in all of history, the Quran. But we're going to look at it from a really specific angle. See, from millions of people, it's not just a holy book. They believe the Quran itself is a living, breathing miracle, just as powerful today as it was over 1,400 years ago. So what's behind a claim that big? Well, let's get into it. So to really get this, we have to start with a core concept called tawakkul. Now, this isn't just about having faith. It's something deeper. It's this absolute active trust in a divine plan, especially when you feel completely backed into a corner. And it all kicks off with this foundational promise made to anyone who feels like they've hit a total dead end. And here it is, the heart of that promise. And whoever fears Allah, He will make for him a way out. Think about that. It's a straight-up declaration. It says that no matter how trapped you think you are, a way out will be made for you. This isn't just wishful thinking or a vague hope. It's framed as an absolute guarantee, an escape hatch from the impossible. And listen, according to Islamic tradition, this isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. It's a pattern you can see woven all through history. I mean, picture it. Moses, trapped between a massive army and the sea. Talk about a dead end. And then boom, a path just opens up. Or think about the Prophet Muhammad, hiding in a cave with his pursuers literally standing at the entrance, only for them to be turned away at the last second. And even after facing rejection after rejection, this unexpected welcome in Medina creates a whole new beginning. You see the pattern, right? In every single case, a way was made when there was absolutely no way. Okay, so that promise of divine help, that's the foundation for everything. But, beyond these incredible moments of intervention, Islam points to one central, tangible, lasting proof of its message, the ultimate miracle. And what is it? It's the book itself, the Quran. So what exactly is a prophetic miracle in this context? It's not just some amazing supernatural event. It's actually defined as a clear sign, a proof that a prophet brings, and it comes with a challenge. The challenge is basically, go ahead, try to do this yourself. It's a proof of divine authority that doesn't just ask for blind faith. It openly invites you to test it. And this is where the Quran is said to be totally different from all the miracles that came before it. Think about it. The miracles of past prophets, like Moses parting the sea, were incredible for sure, but they were temporary. They happened and then they were over, witnessed only by the people who were there at that time. The Quran, on the other hand, is presented as a permanent miracle. It's not bound by time or place. It's right here for anyone, anywhere in the world to pick up and examine forever. And this whole claim is backed up by this just wild challenge issued right there in the text of the Quran itself. It basically throws down the gauntlet to all of humanity and says, produce something like this. At first, the challenge was to produce a whole book like it. Then it was lowered to just 10 chapters. And finally, just one single chapter. And get this, the shortest chapter is only 3 lines long. And for over 1,400 years, that challenge has just been sitting there, famously completely unmet. So the big question is, why? Why is this challenge considered impossible to meet? Well, the argument is that the Quran's miraculous nature isn't just one thing. It's not a single quality. It's this incredible fusion of 3 completely different dimensions of genius, all at once. Okay, so the first dimension is its language. We're talking about an age when poetry was everything, the absolute highest art form. And the Quran comes along with this unique literary style that was supposedly so perfect, so eloquent, it literally left the greatest poets of the time speechless. The second dimension is intellectual. It presents this incredibly deep and complete worldview, offering answers to life's biggest questions. Purpose, existence, what happens next. And the third dimension is societal. It lays out a whole blueprint for a just and balanced society, touching on everything from economics to law to family life. Let's just zoom in on that intellectual dimension for a second. Take a guy like Allama Iqbal. Now, this was a brilliant 20th century philosopher, educated at Cambridge and Munich. He spent his life deep in Western thought, Hegel, Nietzsche, you name it. And yet, after all of that, he came to the conclusion that the true source of his philosophy, the one thing that could fully satisfy his highly trained modern critical mind, was the Quran. Okay, so we've talked about the text, the philosophy, but the claim of the Quran doesn't stop there. It rests on its actual, tangible, world-changing impact. The idea is that these principles weren't just pretty words. They were actually put into practice, and in doing so, they created a whole new kind of civilization. And this societal impact was so huge that it didn't go unnoticed, even by outside observers.
The famous historian H.G. Wells, for example, pointed out something really interesting. He said that, sure, lots of philosophies had talked a big game about equality and brotherhood, but the community established by the Prophet Muhammad was the first one in all of human history to actually build a society on those principles, to take them from just a nice idea and make them real.
And here's another example that might surprise you. In 1937, when his party came to power, Mahatma Gandhi was giving advice to his ministers on how to be just and fair rulers. And you know who he held up as the gold standard? It wasn't someone from his own tradition. It was Abu Bakr and Umar, the first two leaders who followed the Prophet. Their entire system of government was built, brick by brick, on the principles of the Quran. So, look, the story of the Quran is huge, right? We're talking historical transformations, intellectual revolutions. It's epic. But at the end of the day, it presents itself as something much more personal. It's an invitation to an inward journey for every single person who picks it up. In fact, the Quran actually describes its own effect on a person as a kind of four-step process. First, it comes as counsel. It's meant to soften a heart that's maybe grown a little hard over time. Then, once the heart is open, it offers healing for all that internal stuff like envy or pride. And once the heart is receptive and healed, then it provides guidance, like a light that shows you the path forward. The final step? That's mercy, the natural result, the ultimate outcome of actually living by that guidance. So we've looked at the Quran as a promise, as a challenge that stood for centuries, and as a blueprint that literally transformed society. It's a book that without a doubt has shaped civilizations and continues to move millions. So the final question really isn't about history or philosophy, it's personal. It changed a world. The invitation it leaves you with is, how could it change you?